this morning we'll be talking about focus and productivity mastery. We are welcome to Team Mental Fitness. And standing before you to facilitate is Mayowa Cole. So we're talking about focus and productivity mastery, winning the battle against distraction. Basically, where we are talking of focus to gain productivity and to master that act, there is just one major thing that we really need to focus on, and that is distraction. Getting to avoid distraction in order to achieve whatever it is that we have set our hearts to achieve. So we'll start with an opening quote that says, "Where your attention goes, your life follows." You know, most times a lot of us think that when it comes to day-to-day interactions and activities, it's just easy to just allow some days slide past. It's easy to allow another day go. Or, well, what are you doing? I'm whiling away time. I'm just, having some fun. It's beautiful. But at the same time, we need to understand that whatever it is we are giving our attention to, we are also giving our lives to it. So where your attention goes, your life also follows. And I remember a particular phrase in the scripture that says that, "Lord, give us wisdom to number our days," so that we can apply our hearts to wisdom. This tells us a lot. We have a time frame that we need to, spend judiciously, that we need to spend wisely. Whatever we spend that time on is what we have actually spent our lives on. So we move on to the silent battle of this generation. Yes, we understand that a lot has, gone in place. We have moved from one level to another. Transformation has occurred. We are even in the jet age, a lot of information here and there. But there is something that we are actually battling in this phase and in this generation. And that battle is actually that of distraction. This generation is full of whole lot. Talking about the social media, it's not bad, but we have so many constant notifications. Sometimes even when you want to gain time to, study and do one or two deep work, you realize that a notification can just take, say, 5 minutes of your time and hinder you of, say, 2-3 hours of productivity that could have yielded success. Endless information, so many to choose, so many to bite on, that you don't even know what to actually, take home. At the end of the day, you realize that you have gained so much, you have gotten too much information that you don't even have anyone retained within. And the pressure also is out there. Oh, this is doing well, this person is doing so well, this one is successful, influencers here and there, and then you just feel like, oh, where am I in the whole midst of things? So we have distractions that we need to actually, battle in this current generation. And the real battle today is not just about your talent or your opportunities that you have or even your potentials. But the battle is that of attention, because what you constantly give your attention to eventually shapes your future. What you give your attention to eventually shapes your future. Now take a look at the list of what I have on the other side here. The social media and endless information pressure that we listed here. Those are some of the things that actually, cause day-to-day distractions from what we have set our hearts to do. Now imagine that you put your time on social media, the constant notification, the endless information that you keep grabbing. Maybe you find yourself on YouTube or somewhere. Then the pressure that is coming from society, from peer, from the social media too, like I mentioned earlier. You notice that at the end of the day, we already feel exhausted. It feels like there is no way forward. It's just looking like, where am I exactly? How do I even find myself? How do I discover who I am in order to even focus and give attention to that personality that I truly am? And if you put your attention on all these things, you just realize that you are just the social media, so to speak. Because if they are dancing to a particular tune, you are also going with them. If they go this way, you are also going with them. You have not been able to discover your true self, your true identity, and succeed at who you truly are. And that is the reason for that statement that says that it is a battle for attention, because what you constantly give attention to eventually will shape your future, will shape your personality, will shape your success, will shape your future. So now, why focus really matters? We want to look at why focus matters. Focus is actually a superpower. It is focus that leads to productivity. And if we are able to master that focus leads to productivity, we will be focused on what really, really matters in order for us to have a productive life that will eventually shape the destiny that has been carved out for us. And sometimes you want to pause to understand something here. Discovering who you truly are. Because in order for you to focus, you need to understand yourself, you need to understand your personality. If you don't know what works for you, you might even find it difficult to focus on whatever it is you are doing. If, for instance, maybe you're supposed to be, I'm just trying to bring it down to us now. If, for instance, you're supposed to be a productive, a creative person, and you are probably working in a fixed square or routine work, you realize that you find it probably boring and you find it difficult to, cope in such an environment. Why? Because it is not in line with your personality. So understanding who you are, finding time to get your real personality as a person and an individual would help you to focus and enjoy whatever work it is that you are doing. So what we are saying now here is focus is a superpower. Once you understand who you are and what you are here for, your purpose here on earth, you'll be able to achieve whatever it is you have planned to. So you focus, and then that leads to productivity, and that focus eventually helps you to shape your future. Maintain attention and complete your tasks effectively. That's for us at work here. So now on my screen we have here that a distracted person struggles to produce meaningful action consistently. When I was starting out on this topic, I mentioned something very key. I said that when we are looking at focus, there is just one thing that we need to, pay attention to, and it is that distraction. In this world and time, there are a lot of things that are drawing our attention, or will I say competing for our attention. The social media is there, and that is one major aspect. A lot of us, when we are even saying, oh, I'm going to stay put and do a particular work, you realize that what should take you, say, maybe 30 minutes of your time might eventually take a whole day. If care is not taken, it can take a whole week. Why? Because of the distractions that come in and pop in here and there. From friends, from peers. Oh, please, can I just quickly have a minute of your time? And then before you know it, you realize that a day is spent and is gone. But nevertheless, that day that just went past is not just a day. It is actually a part of your life that has just gone past. You could have done something that would have, brought about success in the future. So we'll move on. As we move on, we'll get, better understanding of what we're trying to talk about. Now, we said here that improve work through better focus, because talent without focus rarely produces mastery. Better focus. And let us not see focus as, concentrating, seriousness. No. We need to debunk our minds from all those thoughts that focus is one big, rigid task that needs to be done. Oh, I need to concentrate 100%. That's not what we are trying to say. It just means avoiding distractions when you need to work. That's all. And you realize that you are concentrating without putting in that rigorous effort, without necessarily taxing your brain to think that, oh, you have to put in all the concentration. All you just need to do is to do away with distraction. So I'll give an example. Let's assume that you have a particular work that you want to do, and you take out, say, 2 hours of my time. I want to focus on this so that I can achieve what I need to achieve. Or maybe I might have to silence my phone. The notifications will come in, and you're not going to miss out on the important ones, if there are. But at that time, you have channeled your attention to what really matters. And that would help you to achieve the results, the productivity that you need for that time frame. And eventually would bring about success, particularly when it is repeated consistently every day, often and often. So, moving on, we are hammering now. Here is a picture of, somebody thinking about so many things, just showing distraction. The real enemy here is distraction. And just like a bucket that is full of holes, you want to get in content. the more you pour in water into that bucket, you just realize that it is effort in futility, like there is nothing happening. But it looks like you are doing so much. That is just being busy. You are pouring in the water, you are doing all the hard work, but you have not actually sealed up all those distractions. Distraction can actually be an energy drainer. It doesn't sometimes come as distraction. That is just for us to know. We need to understand the fact that distractions will not, I mean, if somebody wants to come up to you, I'm not going to come to you and tell you I want to distract you. No. Your phone too will not tell you I'm distracting you, but you are the one that would know what distraction is per time. Oh, sometimes what is distraction to somebody for a particular time might not even be distraction to another person at that same time. I'll explain what I mean. Let's say, for instance, you want to do a particular, maybe, let me use media, for instance. Maybe you want to design a graphics that the deadline is tomorrow. And then at that same time, you were told that you have to quickly go somewhere to go and, maybe fix the, I don't know, maybe the internet or something. Now, you may feel like both of them are actually work, right? And which one do I go for first? There is one that is pending that you need to attend to, that is actually urgent, so to speak, and important at the same time. Can the other one still wait? Yes, it can wait. And because it can wait, even though it is still work, at that moment, it is a work that is actually distracting the current one that you are doing. So you don't just want to jump around doing everything at the same time. And then at the end of the day, you are exhausted, you are tired, it looks like you did not really finish everything that you're supposed to do. Oh, and then somebody is asking, maybe the team lead, are you done with the graphics? I'm not done with the graphics. I had to, you now start giving excuses, and it looks like you're just giving excuses. Whereas you were trying to ensure that everything was fine. So it's just being able to channel your energy to what really matters per time, finish up with it, and then move to the next. Or I would say a thing at this point that most times, for every one of us that want to, start out our day or our week or our month or even the year, as we, talk about it in this organization, you would have listed out a lot of, the major key things that you want to do for that year, for that quarter, for that month, so you know where your energy is focused on. Now, any other thing that comes in, if you have the time, you can attend to it. But if you don't have the time, it will just help you to strategically say a no. It will help you to strategically plan your day and, give the reasons why you cannot attend to other things that may not be necessarily urgent at the moment. Or if it can be delegated, it's fine, maybe to another person. So distraction weakens productivity and delays progress. And talent without focus really produces mastery. Now, what focus really means, like I mentioned earlier, focus is the power of no. It's not about saying that I want to spend 30 hours on a particular project and not stand up from that place. Oh, I cannot really sit down for so long. No. It's not about sitting down to do the work from morning till night. You can take a walk, you can, take a stroll, come back to the work, have some rest, because you need your mind to be refreshed in order to be sharpened to do much work. But what we are saying is, if you move your attention from one to another, even your brain, it takes a while for that brain to, come back again to gain concentration on what you are supposed to focus on. So focus is just the power to say no. It is eliminating distractions. It is protecting your priorities. Protecting your priorities. Choosing what truly matters. Every yes to distraction is no to productivity. If somebody comes to tell you something, or a particular notification comes in, and you decide to just swipe, a lot of us have found ourselves just 2 seconds swipe, we end up becoming like 1 hour scroll. And you wonder, how did I find myself here? Some of us just realize that, oh, I wanted to check something before, but I eventually found myself on another platform. What's going on here? Before your mind now gets you back, and then you go back to what you were supposed to do. So if it is just, silencing or probably having another device that would help you focus, then it is going to help in productivity. So focused people are not doing everything. They are concentrating on what matters most. And here we are talking about the power of deep work. Deep work is that time that you have set apart to do what matters. That's all. So that you don't think, okay, deep work, this work thing. Are we not going to have fun? Are we not going to live life? Are we not going to, and all those cruise and everything? Yes, there is time for it. And I will tell you something, that do you know that you can even schedule your rest, you can schedule your free time, your fun time, so that when you are having fun, you don't even feel like you are guilty or, oh, I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do. Take, for instance, in an organization, we have a break time, right? So when you have done your work from the time you're supposed to do to the break time, when you're having break, you should not feel guilty because you need to take a break and refresh so that you can continue refreshed and, perform better at maximum, efficiency. So great results require deep focus. Constant interruption destroys concentration, and every distraction breaks momentum, reduces efficiency, weakens the quality of work. Deep work is where creativity grows and mastery develops, and then excellence is built. It still boils down to that moment. For some of us, we might not be too good at maybe working where everybody is, but for other persons, theirs is to just focus probably early hours of the day. They have what they have already structured for that day. And all they just need to do is to just follow through to what they have already itemized or the itinerary that they have already, listed out for the day. And it just makes work to flow easily. It is constantly doing this that helps us to achieve success in the long run. Success is not just one big thing that you will just achieve on one day. It is not an overnight thing. It is a gradual, constant flow. So, discipline creates freedom. Small discipline creates big destinies. Sometimes doing work and planning to, prepare the day, do the needful, may look like, oh God, I'm just stressing my brain. When am I going to rest? So I mentioned that earlier, that it is just a matter of putting in the little effort to be disciplined. Temporary discipline produces lasting rewards. You either decide on two options. Do I want to put in the little discipline now and enjoy the reward later? Or do I want to just, have a few days, have some rest, and then probably see some regrets later? I'm sure we know the options to go for. So discipline is actually that thing that will create, the freedom that we have always wanted. Now imagine maybe two different persons now. One is so talented and good, gifted, but there's no proper structure to what he or she is doing. The person just has everything haphazard. Oh, planning here, planning there. Tomorrow I plan to do this. In the next 2 years, I plan to do that. And you just keep putting all the plans, and everything is just idea, ideation, and everything. But the next step of, taking it further by being disciplined to start in bricks, step upon step, is what will actually help such a person to achieve what you have actually planned and that idea that you have at the back of your mind. So instead of just comfort, inconsistency, procrastination, work with routines, disciplines, and daily improvement to have results rather than regrets. The thing now is, at this point, sometimes systems may actually help you beat motivation. Because there are times in our lives that we feel so motivated. I'm sure some of us have had such experiences before where the energy is just up and you feel like you can do the work of 10 years in one day. But the truth is that motivation will not always be there because it's an emotional force. It will not always be there. But I tell you that if you have systems in place, even when you don't feel like, when the energy is low, you will still be able to achieve some things. And that's the reason why I put that there, that systems beat motivation. Motivation fades, or probably when motivation fades, system sustains the progress. You just know that, oh, there's a routine. At least there is something that you are expected to do part-time. Oh, I'm supposed to wake up to do this, this, and this. Not too many things. It could just be two. Sometimes it can just even be one thing that you will just achieve to do per day. Take it one step at a time, one day at a time. And by the time you do that consistently, you realize that progress is made. So, one other thing that I would like to mention in the course of this training is that there's something really powerful for us to enable that focus and productivity that we have at mind. We need to guard our minds. Avoid endless noise. negativity, comparison, unhealthy distractions. I mentioned initially that there are distractions, out there from the societal pressure. You don't want to talk about them. There are a lot of them. If I want to give example now, we can have one that we can relate. Don't let me go there. So now there are a lot of distractions to avoid, endless noise, negativity, and those things are things that can drain one's energy. Take for instance, now maybe at a certain age, let me give an example. I didn't want to, but at a certain age, maybe you're supposed to have achieved some things, and then you find that those that are not, up to your age, or those that are, maybe your age mates are achieving much more. There's a tendency to want to allow negativity to seep in or depression seep in, and you just feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? What have I been doing? That's what I'm trying to talk about here. Avoid all those negativity. Start from where you are. What really matters is what you make most of the time that you have now, the present time that you have now, and what you plan to do in the near future. So endless noise, comparison, do away with all those unhealthy distractions, and then take in or consume wisdom, purpose. What am I here for? What do I plan to do? I made mention of a particular scripture that I said that help us to number our days that we might apply our hearts to wisdom. There is something that that, oh, I am here. If you're able to discover that thing and you understand your personality, it will help you to focus on that and, excuse yourself from every other distraction. An example is that of the camera. There are a lot of things out there, but once the camera tries to focus on a particular object, it does away with every other thing and then puts that focus on that object, and then you get a sharp, clear image. But if there is no focus, it becomes blurry. You can't even tell what is there. That's the power of focus. Concentrating on who you are, what you are here for, and then avoiding every other unhealthy distraction. Consume all that you need that would help you strengthen that focus. The wisdom, the purpose that you are here for, growth, clarity, and then vision. Then your environment shapes your focus. So your mind absorbs what you constantly consume. A distracted mind struggles to build a meaningful future. If you are distracted, trust me, it will be so difficult. Even if you have all the potentials, it will be so difficult to achieve that, great outcome that you have set out to achieve. So that's the reason why it's quite important that we, set out those items. Now, reflection. For transformation to begin, we need to have an honest reflection. We need to look inward and, ask ourselves some questions. What distracts me the most? It's a personal thing within us. Because the truth is, in order to achieve success is not far-fetched. I will tell you the truth. And the definition of success does not mean being the number one person that every other person in the whole world will know. No. Changing lives, being that unique person in a particular room, is success. As a matter of fact, in wherever field or whatever field we find ourselves in, we can be successful. So it starts from where we are. Success is actually not far-fetched. So let's ask ourselves some questions. If I'm not distracted, what is it? What is that thing that distracts me the most so that I can avoid that? Where does most of my time go? Because where your time goes is where your life goes. If my time is going to too much of, going about just being busy, then I'm a busy person. If my time is going to social media and just checking all that, I am what I consume. I am that social media. I'll just be acting like everything that they are doing because it looks like that's all that I'm sipping in. So, am I busy or truly productive? We know the difference now between being busy and being productive. It's not just about moving about and doing, it's about focusing on what really matters. Now, what habits are slowing my growth? What habits exactly is slowing down my growth? Those are things that you want to cut down. Say, for instance, procrastination, or that inability to probably list out the 2-3 core important things you want to do per day. Then, what must I eliminate? For some of us, it might not even be listing out what we want to do per day. So for some of us, it might be the ability to take the action, the guts to begin. I'm sure if we ask us now, we have plans, we have ideas. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I plan to do this. But have you taken steps yet? Have you even made the first move? If you don't make the first move, how will you make the next move? And how will you get to that top position of success? as defined by you. So what habits are slowing my growth? And then what must I eliminate? What must I eliminate? What must I do away with in order to improve focus? So my recommendations, the daily action steps that we can take in order to, get that clear picture of who we truly are, that clear image of our, future, our destiny, our personality. Create a daily priority list. Reduce unnecessary screen time. I'm not saying we should reduce screen time, but unnecessary screen time. Like I mentioned earlier, if you've scheduled it in your plan that there is movie night, please watch the movie. It helps you to refresh and unwind. You understand what I'm trying to say? So reduce unnecessary screen time. It is the one that is unnecessary. Schedule focus work sessions. Schedule rest also. Rest intentionally. Build consistent routines. Consistent routines, like I mentioned, the reason I'm just trying to give a recap here. Consistent routines in the sense that where motivation fails you, you have a routine already. Because you are doing this daily, you just fall back to, okay, I'm not feeling like it. There are times I will tell both, I'm sure all of us, we agree. There are times that you don't feel like coming to work. An example was today because it rained and you don't want to imagine what it was like. But because there is a routine, you are going to be at work. It's a planned routine. But that one is done for you. There is the one that is DIY, do it yourself. You plan the routine yourself in order to achieve the success you want to achieve. So build consistent routines, avoid multitasking, protect your mental environment, then learn to say no strategically. Small improvements create extraordinary long-term results. So my conclusion is that you master your focus, you master your life. If you're able to master your focus, you focus on your focus, you'll be able to, master your life. You plan your life, you have time for other things. Not because you don't want to do with all those other things, but because you want to focus on what really matters. That's your priority. You are protecting that time frame. When you are done with whatever you want to do, you can, loosen up to attend to other things. Then, protect your attention, build discipline, eliminate the distractions like I've said, focus on priorities, and develop, an intentional, productive system daily. And my conclusion quote here says that successful people are not always the most talented. They are often the most focused, disciplined, and consistent. And that is just the truth. It's not about being the best. It's about the consistent effort that you put in place. That is what will yield productivity for success. And I hope that this has been able to impact us one way or the other. So if we have comments, if we have questions, please do well to drop them in the comment section. We'll get back to you. Thank you very much for your time.